So Rosalinda is about 14 when I meet her. She has clear brown skin and thick black hair and eyes so pretty that even when she's got a bandana over her face in the fields, you can tell that she's beautiful. Inez is also 14, same brown skin, thick black hair, but her eyes aren't as pretty and her smile's not as wide. And these two girls changed my life forever. And the best thing about where I live is the food. I have fish stew with chili and lime, Mexican rice with tomato and onion, a lot of mole coming out of jars of Doña Maria, because even farm workers need some convenience. But what is the best thing in the kitchen are the big stacks of flour tortillas that come with every meal. And this food is important to me not just because it's delicious, but because I'm working in the fields as a reporter. And every time when I go to the fields and come home, I'm very hungry. And the fields are where I meet Rosalinda. She comes up to me my first day in the garlic field, plops down her buckets in the dirt, and starts asking me questions. What's your name? Where are you from? Where's your family from? Why are you here? Everyone always asks me this, why are you, a white girl with papers, here? And I answer her the same way I always answer, and I say, tengo muchos problemas y no quiero hablar de eso. I have a lot of problems. I don't want to talk about it. When the farmer is done with growing the garlic, machines come into the field and just cut underneath to loosen it from the soil. And then crews of men come in, walking through fields that are a half mile by a half mile, one row every 15 or 20 feet, so that if you laid them all end to end, you would walk for 60 miles. And they come in, bent over at the waist, and pull the garlic out of the ground, and then lay it out to dry. And that's when people like Rosalinda and I and the other pickers come in. We cut off the thatch of root at the base, we snip off the stalk, and we drop a head of garlic into a bucket that is 5 gallons large. For every bucket that we fill, we earn $1.60. On my first day, I fill 10. Rosalinda, 7. We are there for 9 hours. My coworkers tell me that every bucket weighs about 25 pounds. So I know that on my first day I made $1.80, and Rosalinda made $1.25, but we earned the same as everybody else per pound, which is 6 cents. When I see the same company's garlic for sale at Walmart 6 months later, they are charging $3.38. And as I am walking up to the car, I see that her window's open, she's sitting in the passenger seat, and she's eating. And there's a sound that I hear that really surprises me.
If you having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one.
And so I say, Rosalinda, that doesn't really sound like Christian music. And she looks really surprised, and for a minute I have this really sublime vision of her indigenous Mexican father leaned back in the minivan listening to Jay-Z. And I start to laugh a little, and I say, no, really, Rosalinda, what's going on? And she says, well, and she looks down at her food, she's totally embarrassed, and she says, well, my parents don't really understand English, so I just tell them that this is Christian music. And I start to laugh. I'm like, your parents think this is Christian music? She's like, yeah, and we laugh for a minute, and she says, but I don't know what I'm going to do if they're taking English classes.